the week that we opened that brewery, we were getting ready to open, and a cop pulled up like to the front door, and we thought like, well, here he goes. We're busted. It's over. We had a good run, guys. But we all knew this was coming. And cop gets out, and he's like, hey, and we're like, is there a problem, officer? Like, sorry. And he's like, no, he's like, I was just on my beat. And he goes, I've driven by this place for decades, and I'm just so excited to see somebody using it. We're like, oh yeah. You looked at this building? He goes, oh, I've been here a lot. We're like, yeah. He goes, we pulled lots of bodies out of this building. But that's awesome.
Intercontinental?
Mm-hmm. Intercontinental.
Oh, we're going to start here then. Hey, welcome to, what's the name of this thing again? Full Frontal Nerdity, episode 5.
Full Frontal Nerd, episode 5.
We are our first on-location podcast, Mark. Mm-hmm. We're not even having our guest not be in the beginning. Our guest is here now. Because usually we delay it. We wait about 3 minutes. We talk shit about the person that's we're going to bring in.
Dan hides them in some sort of soundproof area, and it's really weird.
And he didn't understand the concept. It's like, I don't know if you see other podcasts. It's like you bring out the guest after we've had an intro. Mm-hmm. You know, we say we're on our 5th episode of Full. I can't get the name right.
That's why you don't like it.
I know. Mark doesn't know the backstory. I got forced into this name. I didn't really.
He claims we wore him down.
But now I printed everything. People won't be able to see on YouTube. We got so much swag here right now for non-monetary reasons. We're giving these away, basically. But we're sitting here at Brewhalla. I'm thinking people can see the background of this beautiful joint.
Yes.
Has become my regular hangout. I'm here way too much. And Mark Bjornstad is joining us today.
Yay.
Thank
Glad
you,
to be
Mark.
here, guys.
Welcome, Mark.
Owner, operator, founder, beautiful human being. And we were just talking about all our kids going off to college and everything. But we should hit some notes of like, what don't you want us to mention? How much it took.
What you don't want to
how much it took to build this place. How many mob families are involved? How many people are buried underneath
where are the bodies
building?
buried, Mark?
We always talk about we don't have skeletons in the closet. We put them out for show.
They are
They're
everywhere. Show. Yeah, when you guys have festivals, they think it's just decorations. It really goes more than deeper than that. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about family life now. Fish, you sent off kids to college this weekend.
Yes. Yep. My second oldest off to UND. Dropped him off. It took. We got there. Got up to exit 141 East Gateway Drive, where we're supposed to go. There's construction everywhere, and so like this is the only place you can.
Grand Forks is doing construction too.
Yeah.
Oh,
all of
just
Grand
our
Forks,
area,
apparently.
right?
But anyway, so we sat in line for an hour and a half waiting to turn off, and then it took like 10 minutes to unload the car once we got there. So yeah, it could have been a drive-by, and it was,
you had the time estimate right. Just didn't know where it was all going to be allocated.
Yeah, exactly. But no, as I was saying earlier, like dropping off a girl at college versus a boy at college, two very different experiences. My daughter wanted, everything set and ready and matching and decorations and stuff, and my son brought a toothbrush and a box of clothes.
Yeah, I mean, when I moved in Moritz State before I got kicked out, I brought a microwave and I think 2 pairs of pants. And I think I had a big ass poster of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I think I had that, and that was my pride and joy. That's it. Girls are totally. Have you read the articles though about how parents are just going nuts and fixing up, the dorms and spending thousands of dollars on these things?
An espresso station and
yes.
What? These kids are supposed to go to college and suffer a little bit,
exactly.
And they're going to wreck crap, and they're going to sell that eventually because they need the drugs. Isn't that how it goes? But where did you go to school, though?
I did my first year of college at the University of St. Thomas.
And you're more at Spud, right?
Yep, I'm a Spud high school.
I was a Spud too.
Yep, and then I went to St. Thomas my first year. And
where did you go? I'm sorry, Miss. I was talking.
St. Thomas for my first year.
Okay,
and then I finished up at Concordia.
So what did you major in St. Thomas?
At St. Thomas, I wasn't quite sure I wanted to go. I knew I wanted to do something in the science background.
Oh.
And then at St. Thomas, I decided I wanted to go into anesthesia and so become a CRNA. And that's what kind of brought me back to Concordia, go through all that stuff here. And so nursing at Concordia. And then I went on to the Minneapolis School of Anesthesia in Minneapolis for my anesthesia training.
So anesthesia beer.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Relate
it does.
Completely. So you finished up at Concordia.
Yep.
Okay. Got it. So then, I did a little background. I did some research. So that was, now 2010, what happened in 2010? Is that when you moved back here from St. Paul?
That's when I finished up my anesthesia training.
Oh, okay.
And then moved back home.
not just get into the nitty gritty of it all. So what you and your buddies have been talking about starting a brewery, that's a decision to go from, that's a pretty decent gig at Anesthesia.
Well, I wasn't planning on leaving that. I had a passion for it. I really was excited about, all these crazy things that we could do. And so I was talking to Darren, who we kind of started the idea of the brewery together, and then got our other two founders on board with it. And we'd just been talking about what could we do that we loved craft beer. We loved the idea of what could happen in a tap room. And I kind of wanted to do it in Minneapolis because at that time was when breweries were starting to pop up down there, but tap rooms weren't legal yet. There was a lot of talk about how to make that.
So was Fulton already around then?
No, so Fulton opened in the spring of 11. So when I was leaving, it was when Surly passed that Surly bill. And that's what changed everything. And so we were talking about that. I wanted to stay in Minneapolis. My wife didn't. I lost that battle. But looking back, that was the best decision ever that we made, was coming back to Fargo. Home makes you do funny things. I think the most of all, it's coming back. And so then we caught ourselves talking and complaining about how there wasn't anything cool happening in Fargo. And we always wanted to be going to Minneapolis.
We never hear that in Fargo more, that there's nothing to do. That's never talked about here.
And so
Lord.
We sat there and we bitched about that for a long time, and then started seeing some other people doing other cool projects, people that were talking about cool ideas. And that just kind of really inspired us into thinking, if Fargo's on a tipping point and it needs more cool ideas and it needs people to stay here, let's be a part of that movement. Let's do our thing here and let's contribute to that. And let's see if we can push Fargo over. And I think when we look back at those years of 2012, 2014 and what was going on, especially downtown really getting revitalized and activity happening there and people really falling back into this Fargo brand, we were right at the right place at the right time and really got an opportunity to be alongside of some really great people that made Fargo awesome.
So I know you've told this story thousands of times, and I really want to be able to ask you questions that no one dares ask you.
Sure.
But I won't be too...
Well, I want to know, what's the first beer you ever brewed?
First beer we ever brewed at the brewery.
Oh, or the first one you ever tried at home too.
That we're going to go way back.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first beer I ever brewed.
Tried.
Oh,
You
tried.
stole out of your father's
Sure. Was
it's got to be a Miller Lite.
I was homebrewing out of our biochemistry and microbiology lab, and propping yeast and doing the studies with that stuff. And so I made a Sierra Nevada clone. I love Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and made that recipe. And I don't even know if it was good. But
so proud of yourself.
It's it's your kid. You love it because you helped make it, and it's a reflection of you and all the work you put into it. And so, everyone we had a cool 6-plex apartment building, and we finished off that batch really fast, and then it was just moving on to the next ones. And the way we brewed always was always for the experiment. We were looking for efficiencies. We were looking for new processes that we could do. And so it wasn't really always about even making a good beer. It was always about testing a new hopping technique. And so we would do side-by-sides and do these double batches, tweaking different recipes. And that's how we brewed in the years of what we were building up for the brewery. But the first batch we ever brewed at the downtown brewery was Broken Rudder.
And that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, and it was
it's still here.
Yeah, when I could drink it, so I can't anymore.
Okay.
We ended up dumping that batch.
Huh?
And that was demoralizing to us at the time. And
wait, why'd you dump it? Did it just suck? Or what?
No. There's a lot of things there needs to be kind of a sacrificial first brew, because there's some characteristics of the brew system that you can't quite know until you run it. One of them being we call the heat quench on it. So when we're doing the mash, we're looking for a very specific temperature, and to hit that temperature range is where you're activating all the enzymes that start converting those starches to sugar. So different temperatures, you'll end up with a different sugar profile at the end. What that means is that's a different food source, different type of sugar for the yeast. And we ended up, expecting much more of a heat drop than we got. And so we ended up with this highly fermentable beer. And so it was Broken Rudder. It was a good beer, but it was very dry.
Oh.
And looking back, like it was good, but we knew that our second batch wasn't going to be the same. And we had seen some other breweries, put out their first batches that were different. And then we knew Broken Rudder was going to be kind of a flagship beer. So we dumped it all. And that was like,
so are we talking gallons? I mean, how much did you dump?
So that would have been like 210 gallons that we dumped.
So you were seriously brewing.
Yep. Yep.
Here I'm thinking it's like 5 of you guys in a basement. Were like, because when you're doing that, it was kind of when all the hobbyists were really going at it, where they had like 6 5-gallon buckets in their basements or doing, but you're doing 210 gallons. So literally we just talked about, you went to college, decided to go out of your medical field and brew 210 gallons worth of beer. I mean, what happened in between there? I mean, was there a 5-gallon bucket at one point?
Oh yeah.
I still want to go back to what was the first beer you had as a kid.
So when I know that
you're
too.
avoiding that question for some reason.
No, I mean when I moved back and Darren and I were kind of putting this together, we installed a commercial pilot system into my garage. So like what a brewery uses to do test batches, that's what we put into my garage. And so that gave us like the level of control and precision that we needed.
Give me an idea level of investment to do that. Is that a $5,000 thing?
Yeah, probably $5-10,000.
Okay,
all into that. And
so you all put money in and got that. That's fun.
Yep.
I'm not going to do it.
Real
that's
fun.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to.
Dan, right, we're doing that right now.
Writing the check.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
I guess you're right. Just throwing money away. Yeah, all right. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you put that into your garage. You made that investment. So then, okay, what's the time frame there? So you start messing with recipes and until you can really feel comfortable about drinking something that you just made. I mean,
we worked really hard, and I'm fine bragging about it. I think we were really good at brewing, and all of our batches for the most part turned out great, and we loved them. Our problem became that we wanted to brew so much and so often that we physically couldn't drink that much. So
I had to give it a try.
I mean,
come on.
It starts to inhibit like the work you're doing too. And so we started having these R&D parties, and we would put out a couple different batches.
This was locally?
Yeah, at my house. And so we would do these R&D parties. We would invite people, kind of let it be a little bit of word of mouth.
Yeah.
And then we would just have people give us feedback about beers. We'd have people try like 2 side-by-side recipes that were supposedly identical, but we did use different processes and see if people preferred a different thing.
Like a Pepsi challenge.
And
wow,
they
were fun.
They were fun parties, and we always joked that the last Halloween party we did got a lot of people to show up, got a little.
What are we talking here?
Probably a
couple hundred?
100, 200.
That's enjoyable. That's
Yep.
almost manageable.
And so that was probably fall of 2012. And we had been talking about doing this the whole time. And we always joked that next morning we were like all patting ourselves in the back for how awesome the party was, how well the beer went over.
We're so cool.
And then my wife came down and she's
no.
We're not doing that again. We're not having that party anymore. And so we kind of said she thought she was shutting the whole thing down. And we thought, well, we just got evicted from this brewery. We got to go find a real one.
Wife talking, shutting it down. What happened?
Nothing. It was
just loud.
Just big party.
How old were you at that time?
28, 29.
Oh yeah,
30.
28 was a good age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
We still felt invincible at 28. Yes.
Yep. So then that's what sparked us. All right, then let's start looking for locations. We're ready to go.
Did you get the cops called on you?
No.
Well, what's her problem then? Come on.
She likes to keep the peace.
I'm sure. We all need that in our lives, right? You were right. I didn't consider you. I've always from afar. We've known each other from afar. We've talked. We've known each other. I didn't consider you a brewmaster, but you are. I mean, I always considered you like more of you're founding businessman. This is an opportunity. You hooked up with some brewmasters, that type of thing. But you obviously have that background. Also, did you know? Would you think that, Fish? I mean, I didn't.
No, I didn't know. Yeah.
I've never carried that role here.
I'm giving it to you.
No, but I stay involved in all the new recipes the brewery's doing, and help kind of guide that creative process, and have always been involved in that.
Yeah. Well, you talk about there's never anything fun. People always say there's nothing to do in Fargo-Moorhead. I mean, I've heard that forever growing up in this area. I do have to say how awesome a fucking job you have done here, your partners. This place is incredible.
Thanks.
And it's obviously everyone says if you come into Fargo, this is the one place you have to hit. I swear, my office is only like 3 blocks. I'm here almost just as much as my office, just get away, do work here, have meetings here and everything. You fit a niche beyond a brewery. But you started with Drekker. And then, I mean, we grew up in the area. We've always seen this train station, never really knowing. It always seemed like something left over from World War II. You know, it just sat vacant for so long. I mean, but it was a repair, and they'd clean the engines in here, right?
This
in
was
the
the
Drekker
like,
side.
This is where they did any of the work on like the locomotives. So
Yeah.
it was built in 1883. So at that time, before North Dakota was a state, this was really an outpost, and it's a railroad town. So they were so far away from the next service station that they had to either make the parts and do all the service work here. And so that's what the brewery was built for.
Yeah. I mean, how'd you stumble upon the building? How did that happen?
Honestly, this was the building we always wanted.
I don't blame you. It's lovely.
We checked it out. We looked at it before we were looking to open, and we realized like how big of a restoration project that building was. And we kind of noticed that we're looking at two projects here: a restoration project that could be a money pit, and we are like scarily undercapitalized as a company. We didn't have any investors. We bootstrapped this all.
All right, I read that.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't undercapitalized. I mean, it was the EDC artical that I
Oh, we were
it was
undercapitalized.
20 million. I was like,
here.
That's associated.
That's here.
I was like, yeah, 20 million. I can see why you're undercapitalized on that one.
No, I mean we.
But let's keep on the railroad thing.
Yeah.
Though.
So we looked at that building for the first location and just knew that was probably a recipe for disaster. And we just had to focus on the brewery and get that open and get that brand established. And so then we found our spot at Cityscapes Plaza in downtown Fargo and went there. But then as soon as we were starting to grow and needing space, we were starting to talk about we're either looking for a production facility or another tap room or whatever it is. And that building came up for all of us as like, this is the number one. We're going to try and figure this spot out. And it fell in our lap with complete luck and all the things you need that would never work out in a normal world.
Talk about vision, though. I mean, like I said, I've driven by this thing my whole life. Never would have thought, I could put something in there.
Yep.
I don't know what sparked you guys that you always thought that this was going to be the place.
We wanted a place that had character and soul and warts and age and all that stuff. And there's
warts.
Look at that building. That's what we always talk about, like the missing bricks and the burnt out beams and stuff. We always wanted that, and like we had the same feeling. We would drive by this building all the time, and the way we always talked about it was we were just terrified that the next time we drove by it, there was gonna be bulldozers at the walls, and that was just something we just couldn't live with. It gave us a lot of urgency.
So give me if you can remember, I'm sure you can, the first time you stepped in and actually got to see the inside of it.
We broke in.
Oh, you did? That away.
Yep.
That's the way it should be done.
Yep. The first time we did
drunk.
it in the evening.
Yeah, right. That's what shut down the big party. They started to break into buildings.
Can't have it here. We got to move on, guys.
Wife says we got to get out of here.
So we broke in, and I think one guy was in. I think one guy was halfway through the window. We were holding open the boarded window doors, things on there, and the person that was inside kind of called out that we are not alone in this building right now. And
oh my God, this is awesome.
so we got the hell
good
out of
right
there.
now. Keep going.
And came back during daylight. And
so there were people in here.
Oh yeah,
Squatters.
A lot of the soot damage is from the locomotives, a century ago. Mm-hmm. A lot of the fire damage is from the inhabitants.
I thought you were going to say dead bodies. I didn't know where that was.
Well, that was. Here's the other funny story.
Speaking of dead bodies,
I didn't say a funny story.
The week that we opened that brewery, we were getting ready to open, and a cop pulled up like to the front door, and we thought like, well, here he goes. We're busted. It's over. We had a good run, guys, but we all knew this was coming. And cop gets out, and he's like, hey, and we're like, is there a problem, officer? Like, sorry. And he's like, no. He's like, I was just on my beat. And he goes, I've driven by this place for decades, and I'm just so excited to see somebody using it. We're like, oh yeah. You looked at this building? He goes, oh, I've been here a lot. We're like, yeah. He goes, we pulled lots of bodies out of this building. But that's awesome. We always felt like
Are
this
they
place
like
was
climbing
haunted.
the smokestacks? How are these
that
people
explains
die?
the ghosts I've seen.
People just hanging out.
We have seen ghosts in this place. Yeah, right.
Oh,
Did you? So is the window you broke into? Is it still down there? I mean, you should commemorate.
I mean, it's a
that
window now.
Yeah, you should put a plaque by it.
This is the
first
first we broke in
entrance
on this date in whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is when Drekker started right now.
Through these doors, you are not alone.
Yeah. After this, show me that. We're going to take a picture. We're going to post that, and it's going to go viral. It's going to be huge, and everyone's going to break through that window.
I can't wait.
It's going to be the first challenge from the Full Frontal Nerdity cast. Okay, so Drekker, you get that going. So when did that launch? What year was that again? 2014?
Drekker opened in 2014, and then we opened this brewery in 2018.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, dude, Mark, Drekker's successful. You're doing great. You graduated from the Cityscapes Plaza, or that is what, Plaza. Came here. Everyone already loves it. And you don't stop. You're just like, we should do something bigger. Did you already always had a marketplace in your brain?
When we were designing the layout for the current brewery, we were trying to put a food concept in there, and we wanted to utilize this kind of like permanent food truck idea. Food halls were just kind of getting started as like a nomenclature, as a concept, and we were trying to play off of that. And we ultimately we ran out of space that we had to dedicate enough to the brewery and the lab and enough taproom space, and we just couldn't fit it in there. And so the day we got that open, we started working on how are we going to get a food concept in the neighborhood or connected to this, or how can we work on that? And so that created 2 more years of brainstorming, and by 2020 we had this concept figured out.
2014 you opened Drekker. 6 years later, we got the concept for Brewhalla. Did you know? I mean, it reminds me of the Forks in Winnipeg. You've been. That's what I always refer to, and I thought that was cool. This is cooler. I don't know. Have you been to the Forks up there?
That's such great character.
The second floor is mostly all shops and everything, but the first level is all restaurants, a ton of them. Then there's a common area where you can bring all of your food together, and they've got a bar in that common area with all the local brews right there. It's lovely.
The complex is amazing too. There's just so many things to do around there.
There's a breakfast joint called Dan's Breakfast.
Is that yours?
I know. I really wish it was. See, my dream was to have a breakfast cart downtown where I could go from like 6 a.m. to 9:30 and make homemade breakfast, and I'll operate it when I want. When this thing starts making money, I'm going to open up the food truck thingy. I'm not going to do that. So, this is the $20 million underfunded place. I mean,
this was appropriately funded.
Right. That's right. That's right. Wrong choice of words there. I mean, that was the EDC article that I was reading. They really helped you out. You leverage relationships and grants and SBAs, I would think, but you really avoided
no SBA. We kind of some early advice that we've stayed away from SBA loans or anything like that. But we had EDC grants, and through the Bank of North Dakota is really what made this possible.
But you really wanted to avoid investors, right? Because you wanted to make your own shots and not be responsible investors.
Yep,
I've been in that world.
It's a terrible decision.
To do it the way you did, or go to investors?
I honestly think one of the worst decisions we ever made was not having investors. Because
have you ever told anybody else that?
Oh yeah,
on paper. Is that? Did we make a breakthrough?
I'm very forward about that. That that
I
caused
got $4 burning a hole in my pocket if you have another expansion going on.
Well, in the early years, it's terrible being undercapitalized and having cash flow problems, and the gray hairs and the tears that you get out of figuring out how you're going to pay that next bill is. It's just something that no one should go through, having to do that. But if you can make it and you can get out of that startup phase, and then you no longer have investors, and it's all yours, and you have the equity, and it's your shots that are calling, you're not answering to a board or any of that stuff, you won. But that's a moonshot to get there, and I don't know how we did it.
I always thought investors were very good at, like you're stating in the beginning, because they do become your board of directors. And if you don't know what the hell you're doing, you can turn to them. And you go, at least you have an audience. I don't know how to do this. Instead, you're taking loans, and you and your buddies are like, we don't know how to do this. So how the hell are we going to get it done?
Well, I mean, investors don't expect a return right away, but the bank wants their service every month on time.
Yeah.
That's tough to meet.
Yeah. I heard of an organization that bought out the first rounders within 2 years, and the first rounder's like, no, keep it. Don't
put it back out to that.
Yeah, we invested because we want a bigger return instead of you buying out the first rounders. I totally get it. I'm surprised to hear you say that. That's one of your biggest mistakes, though. Tell me another mistake.
What would you have done differently with investors? Like, would it just be kind of the managing more of the stress of it all, or is it?
I think we would look back at the years of our life. Right. I mean, at the end, we shaved some years off of our lifespan by doing that, but. It also made us who we were. It really solidified our decision-making process and how we approach stuff. And and as a partnership, we have the best employees in the world, and we've got the greatest team here. But the partners that we have on the team, the owners here, that group, I mean, we went shoulder to shoulder on that stuff, and the things we went through together, that really solidified who we are as a group. And those are my ride or die people.
Yeah.
That they turned into that board of directors. We turned into that for each other, and we got ourselves through it.
How many owners partners do you have?
So 4 of us founded it.
Yep.
A few years later, our head brewer, Tom Knowlton, was just, our biggest concern was he was acting like an owner. He cared more than he should have. And we were honestly concerned about like burning him out because he cared too much. And he came to us with an idea that, he wanted in, and didn't know what that meant, whatever, but he wanted to be on the group, and he wanted to give more to it. And so he joined the ownership group in 2019. And then last spring, 2 of our other key employees that really built us up and made us who we were, Haley Hoffner and Nathaniel Nabertil, came in as partners as well. And so that's kind of what we've done, is we've got the 4 original founders and then key individuals that have bled the brand, just delivered so much experience and expertise in what they do for the partnership. And then they just became essential people.
Yeah. I don't know how you guys, I mean, there's so much happening here constantly. Mm-hmm. I mean, even stuff that you don't know about, because we were supposed to do this about 2 weeks ago. We had to reschedule. But I mean, it just shows how busy it is. There's stuff going on all the time. So, and everything, I don't mean to be hogging the mic, Fish. I mean, I had so many questions.
You're doing a great job, Dan. You're very excited right now.
I am. I'm kind of geeking out right now. Everything that I wanted to do that I'll never
Fish is
do.
here for the people watching on YouTube.
That's right.
He's the can.
All they hear is my voice, and they've kept the camera on him the whole time.
Yes.
Is that a new shirt now? Is that a different shirt from this one?
So yes, not a new shirt, but I am wearing a different one each time.
Okay, what is that one?
What do you
now?
look at? It's Saturday Night Live.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's characters, yeah.
Son of a bitch! Where'd you get that now?
It's a Roosevelt's shirt.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's always very dressed up for this. I'm just plain. So everything I'm hearing about you is like, what's the next step? So what's missing here right now, and what do you dare tell us? Like, what are you thinking right now for the next round of your brain?
Yeah, I mean, we've got lots of ideas.
I bet you do. Give me the craziest one. Do we start out low and then go high? I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I'll tell you some real stuff, but I'll tell you a funny story first. So when we were building this, one of the ideas we kept talking about was like, it'd be cool to have a water park in here. Like, that would be so much fun. And so we joked around, like, maybe
right here.
Maybe that's what we'll build, like next door. We'll build like this outdoor water park and have a lazy river and all these fun things. And so we always joked about that. And then this would have been, a couple months before Brewhalla opened. We hired a head of hospitality, and she came on. We'd always wanted her on the team. Andrea Dickelman, she's such an amazing experience in that space. And we send out like our like team newsletters, and it's always kind of like a clickbaity headline on the newsletter. And
I'm aware.
So a lot of the talk was like, all right, so Drekker did Brewhalla. It's always like, what's next? So Haley wrote that next newsletter and was like, Drekker announces plans for water park, coming next spring or whatever. And Andrea almost quit because she saw that. She was sitting at home on Thanksgiving. She thought, what the hell are these people doing? And am I going to be managing like 100 lifeguards and all this stuff?
Right.
And so I think she texted or called Andrea or Haley about like, what the hell is this? Haley's like, I should have told you. Those are all just like joke clickbait things. Right. We've always talked about it. I don't know if there's actual plans, but like, no, we do not actually plan to break ground on a water park. So it's still on the
I think you're
dream
lying.
board.
I think you are
Still on the dream board.
I just don't think you want to give it away quite yet.
I mean, the big pitch we're working on right now is that we're making our proposal to build the Fargo Convention Center and a new hotel and a whole slew of development in the neighborhood right next door.
Wait, you put in a bid for that? I heard 7 bids came in.
9 bids came in. I
would
would
say
say
Dan's.
2. Yeah, right. 2 from the same company. Are you the 2 from the same? Oh, that's you. Oh,
no.
okay.
So we've been working on this for almost 2 years and driving this forward, pushing the city to put this out for a vote, to open up the RFP process, get on there. But we wanted our foot in the door the whole time, and we wanted to be a part of it.
Because you have your own developers that would be able to walk you through that?
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Yep. And I mean, that's
Why, have you ever built a building before?
Well, so
You're still stuck on anesthesiologist.
I am. I'm still seeing how he made that transition.
we've learned a lot. We partnered with developers throughout the years, and then the people who own the land next door is Cityscapes Development and Mike Bollinger and that family, and they were actually our original landlords downtown. So we've always had a great relationship with them, and we've been talking since we moved out here about what could be possible on their land and what could we do in this neighborhood. And so I went to them with a few ideas, and they were all in, and they just I was kind of expecting like, here's an idea, this is what I think you guys can do, and they came back with like, hell yeah, let's partner on it.
Why?
So that's who we're moving with.
Did we just get the scoop on this? I mean, I know the government people probably know about this, but I mean, I don't think the general public know.
Oh yeah, there's we had our big pitch at the commission last Friday, and
now I got to go to commission meetings to hear the cool stuff that's going on. That would be outstanding if it was here. I mean,
so.
If they can figure out traffic and parking and everything. Just bring the Hector parking.
It's
garage
all there. We've got it all built in. We are really proud of that plan that we've been working on.
See, now that I would have automatically thought that maybe you were considering building like an outdoor arena for music or something. That's more unique. And that's more.
We look at this we're looking at all of this stuff from 20,000 feet. Like what does Fargo need? What's going to build tourism and fulfillment and activation in the community? And beer is what started us, but we know that's not always going to be the biggest part for us, or that's not always going to be the next move for us. And so we're up for anything.
I think beer started most of us. You just took it on to a whole new level, actually.
We just used it as a funding mechanism.
Right. That's a really good point.
It's not a cost center.
Yeah,
That's what beer can do for you kids.
Yeah, my beer's not making any money for me. Making money for Mark and his team. My Lord. So let's see. They're closing the bids down. Like it's soon. They want to have that decision made by the end of September, don't they?
Pitches and the Friday after next, and then
did you make the finals? Because they're listening to 5. I heard.
Once they get through these 3 rounds of pitches, they're gonna pick a group of, they say 3 to 4.
Yeah.
They'll move on, and then that'll be round 2.
Yeah, I heard Charlie in the news. Yeah, like 4 to 5 is what they're going to listen to. I hope you make it. You're pretty solid and confident you're going to make that final round, aren't you?
I
love it.
We want a convention center for Fargo more than we want it. We just think that we've got a great plan and we've got a great vision for how to do it right. But really, anywhere that this ends up is going to be a huge asset to the community. It's going to be a great driver for hospitality and all the tourism that can go on. And I think it's going to be something that Fargo's proud of, no matter where it ends up.
What can Full Frontal Nerdity and our 10 listeners do to support you?
Yeah, I think one thing I think is really hard for commissioners and all the decision makers is that it's really easy for the keyboard warriors to get out there and share their criticism. They need to hear from people that see the positives in things.
Absolutely.
And though you think about like, it's so easy to get pissed off at a restaurant and write a 1-star review when you have a bad experience. But when you have a good experience, almost no one writes that 5-star review. So we need people that are going out there and giving us or giving the rest of the plans the 5-star reviews and just be positive. Help those commissioners be confident in their decision and see the vision.
I think you've already killed that stereotype. I mean, there's so much goodwill around this place. It's insane. It's like you've been able to avoid, I think, the majority of crap that most places get, like 1 bad review, 2 bad reviews. I mean, this is the place where people want to show off. I mean, talk about something to be proud of. It's just awesome. Good for you there, Mark.
That's credit to our entire team.
Yeah, absolutely. So back to the first beer that you had.
Yeah, my dad was a huge Grain Belt Primo guy.
Oh my God, of course.
Grain Belt Primo was the first sip I ever had, and it was disgusting, and
of course it was.
Kept me away for a while.
That's because you were smoking too much. It didn't taste right. Yeah. So how old would we have been when we snuck our first beer?
I don't know. That would have been...
Because how old are you now?
I'm 42.
42.
41. I don't know. 40.
That's a blatant... Oh, wait,
early 40s.
I'm in my 40s.
Yeah. I'm not.
I can't remember if I turned 42 or...
Does that suck? Yeah, I was sitting with a buddy of mine.
I'm 41. I'm going to be 42 this fall.
Okay. I was sitting with a buddy of mine in St. Paul. I can't remember the restaurant. It was awesome. I go, God, dude, can you believe we're turning 44 this year? He looks at me and goes, oh, we turned 44 last year. And I was like, mother. It's like I lost a whole year. I mean, talk about it, I just can't keep track of it anymore.
I was probably a first grader, something like that.
First grader? I suppose more.
I mean, I wasn't like sharing a beer with my dad. I was probably like, you want to see how bad this is?
Yeah, I stuck a Miller Lite when I was about the same.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Old Milwaukee.
Absolutely.
It was
Well, that's all our parents had back then. Grain Belt, Millet. Didn't have breweries and everything. That's all cool. So going on to breweries, the big across the country, breweries are losing steam. You are distributing in how many countries?
We send beer very regularly. Every month we send a shipment out to the EU, the UK, China, and then maybe quarterly to Japan, Scandinavia, a few other countries around there.
Insane.
And then 34 states in the U.S.
China likes your beer?
China is in love with American craft beer.
God, that's great.
And what do they lean towards?
IPAs are always huge everywhere else. The types of hops that make American IPAs are obviously domestic hops to us. So they're very hard for, European breweries to get those hops. So kind of like how, that's an import to them. It's cheaper and easier for us to make that. We have better access to the ingredients. So when we bring that product over there, it's unlike stuff they can brew there. But then, we're known for our sours too. And that's really what kind of melts people's faces off.
Yeah, I think you and I had run into at Addie's. That's the first time I had heard that you were internationally distributing. And then, of course, I went home and geeked out and just did some research on it. It just blew my mind. So when are you opening up your first brewery overseas? That's got to be a conversation, I would think.
That'd be fun. On the dream board is we're looking at satellite locations and what does that mean and how do we do it and how do we do it in a way that we think is the Drekker way to do it.
Yeah. Go right into Ireland. Like, go right into China. Oh, you don't want to be in communist, I guess. Maybe Japan.
Scandinavia would be right up there where we try and go.
Let's think, where do we want to place this anyway? God, that's fascinating.
But it's interesting you bring that up about, breweries losing steam. I have a different opinion on that. That I think what we're, you're talking about breweries closing, but last year was the first year that more breweries closed than opened, but the delta on that was very narrow. It was almost even. And all that really shows is that the craft beer industry is maturing, that it went through a growth phase that was unsustainable. And I think when you're growing that fast and there's that much demand for the product, quality isn't always an important thing. And, not every business can, they're not under stress for it. And so then when you get back to a normal, competitive, healthy environment, it's going to call some of that herd. And that's what we've seen happen over the last year and a half, where some of the businesses that, weren't well run or, didn't come out of COVID very strong, they're starting to fall by. Some of the places that weren't putting out exactly quality products, those are starting to fall away. And what you're left with is the companies that are doing it right, know how to do it well, and, have a good team in place and a vision for where they're going. Those breweries are doing just fine.
That's what I was wondering. Did a lot of them just stop their curiosity and they just stopped refining their beers and just kind of took it for granted a little bit?
I think
lost the energy
for a long time in a lot of areas that had a lot of saturation of breweries, you could hang a taproom sign and say local beer, and that was enough to keep your taproom busy all the time.
Right.
And now consumers have tried all these craft beers. They've gotten a taste for it all. We know what the styles are. They want creative, new styles coming out, but now they have a level of expectation of what it should be. And so before it was, they just wanted to try everything. Now people are going back to who's doing this the best.
Yeah. Because there's certain brews that have just become normal in so many that started out as brewery. Look at Summit. That was just a simple brewery. Now it's just standard issue to a certain degree. And
classic styles have a place, and those are seeing a resurgence too. And it's a well-run, established brewery, and they're still around here today.
Did you see what? I don't know if you read this. One of the most popular beers out there right now, and it's kind of due to consumer confidence. Did you see what is leading the pack?
No.
It's High Life.
Oh.
Which I actually drink.
I love a High Life.
I do too.
That was a go-to for quite a while.
I still have that on occasion.
It's kind of funny how in the macro beer category, the in vogue beer shifts around a little bit. Sometimes you're looking for a little bit more of that nostalgic, underknown one. So when I was in college or afterwards, PBR became that beer.
Absolutely.
And they had a huge resurgence.
Right.
High Life in the brewing community is considered the primo.
It's the champagne
of beer.
It's the champagne
Absolutely.
beer.
That's a good one with a cigarette for sure. Absolutely.
Yep.
I don't know why. It's just so good. That's usually what I have at Dempsey's. I have a High Life and a shot of Jameson, and my life is really good.
Yeah, we look at that category and say this is a really good after you pee but before you wash your hands beer. That's where you want that one.
What? After you pee.
That's that. Like,
How long are you in the bathroom?
You're enjoying
What's going on in the
You're just
bathroom?
enjoying a beer in the bathroom or whatever. Like that's the
I used to love a shower beer. Shower beer is great.
that hits different.
Yeah. I haven't done that for quite a few years, but that was fun. That was good. That was usually a PBR. Quite honestly.
We get there's Reddit is a rabbit hole, and there's a whole Reddit subreddit on shower beers. And we found out about that because we were getting tagged and all this stuff. And that's interesting to go down that thread and see people posting their shower beers.
Huh.
And it's interesting to look at.
Now I'm going to have to look that up.
You know,
That's going to be on our website.
NSFW.
When we get that. Yeah, right. I bet it is. I bet it is.
So you need a whole shower stall thing here to drink a beer in, and it's a different experience.
I don't know if you knew, Fish was in a commercial of ours one time, and where he showered in barbecue sauce. It's for Picky Barbecue.
It's going to come up every episode.
Yeah. Well, now I'm just seeing you drinking. I wish we had had a beer in there with you.
That would have been great.
I mean, you would have been with the rub
Covered
and
in
the
barbecue sauce
and drinking a beer. We're going to have to reshoot that. We're going to talk to the Piggy Barbecue. I love it that your Oktoberfest beer is back.
Yep.
One of my favorites.
Osterhosen.
I've got some in my house right now, so that's lovely.
So, Mark, if you're not drinking Drekker, what are you drinking?
Well, I mean, High Life is a good choice. There's a lot of breweries that I respect. There's a few styles that I just I always gravitate towards, and I think one that I've had for years has been Modest False Pattern. I love a really good full flavored pale ale, lower ABV than a standard IPA, and I love the hop profile and everything about that beer.
Tell me it again. I don't know if I know it.
By Modest in Minneapolis. It's
Modest?
Modest.
Huh.
Modest in Minneapolis. They're False Pattern.
Never had it. Never
Great
even
beer.
heard of it.
Great beer.
I'm sure you've heard of a lot of beers I've never heard of. I'm thinking, but now I have to try Modest. That is one of them. Had you heard of that, Fish? Modest?
No.
They're
Darren,
phenomenal.
you ever heard of Modest? Ever heard of Modest beer? You can't hear me? Okay. Is it too loud out here? This is our first time with headphones on.
Yeah, I can hear each other fine. I mean, what's wrong with you? Clean your ears out.
Sam, can you hear? Oh, he's got headphones on. Ambient noise, we call it. Just simple Modest.
Modist.
Fuck, I screwed that up too. Modest. All right. And that's in Minneapolis.
Yep.
I'm going there this weekend.
You can definitely check out their brewery. It's phenomenal. It's in the North Loop, right by the Twin Stadium. But they distribute locally too. You can get it at pretty much any spot.
Is it
in
up by
town.
Fulton there? Is it in that vicinity?
Yeah, like a couple doors down from where the Fulton Tap Room is.
Well, crap balls. I'm going there for sure then. And I will give my review on our next podcast then. That's awesome. So what's your favorite Drekker beer? Is it your I love it that you said a flagship. I got a friend of mine, Madsen, and he's just irritated with breweries that don't have a flagship. But I loved it that earlier you stated Broken Rudder is yours, which is standard, which is on tap at Dempsey's, by the way.
Yep. My favorite Drekker beer is got to be Ectogasm, our flagship IPA.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the first ones here,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yep. So we started making that downtown, and then that was really blowing up for us. And we make a ton of that here.
Yeah. So how many different beers goes through here, either a quarter or a year? I mean, it seems like a ton. And then they're selling the signs downstairs of all the beers that you've had. I mean, like, my Lord, they've gone through beers.
Yeah. It's probably close to 200 beers a year that we'll make here.
And how many
every year.
How many remain out of that will stay in your catalog?
A lot of the IPAs come back in a cycle. And then like the sours, we try to figure out, which ones were really popular, which ones do we want to keep tweaking on, and we bring a few of those back every year. So there's some repeat sours that come back at least once a year. Like some of the cheesecake slang du jours are super popular, and so we keep those in the mix. There's a few flavor combinations of Brains that we brew every year because they're so good.
Yeah,
that's one of the concerns that we've always had with trying to balance that interest for new beers, but bringing back the ones that have like really hit and done well. Because if we only in the Brains category where we're doing a combination of fruits and making this like smoothie, if we're always trying to make a new combination, inevitably we're going to get to a lesser quality product because we've already used up all the good combinations and the best fruits. And so we want to keep bringing back some of those fun ones, because if we're doing it just for the sake of doing something new, we'll get to using fruits and combinations that don't make sense.
Right.
It's simply just for the fact of doing a new one. And so we try and balance that. And we're always trying to actually make a beer that was intended to be made and needs to be in the world, and then bring back the ones that are just really successful.
But you're saying 200 a year are intended to be made. That's insane.
Yep. It shouldn't make sense. It makes a
It hurts my brain.
it's a nightmare on the brewing schedule.
I did the math. That's like 50 a quarter. See that? See how that kicked in there?
Proud of you.
Yeah. That's I mean, I don't even know how you guys would keep up with that. I mean, okay, you come up with a recipe for a brand new recipe, being you're doing 200 a year. From the idea to you're drinking it, what's the timeline there?
For one of the like sours or IPAs, that's somewhere on like a 2 to 3 week turnaround.
Well, that's it.
The
The guy has an idea, the brewmaster has an idea. I want to try this, and I'm drinking it in 3 weeks.
Well,
Were you exaggerating?
no, I mean that's from brew day to package. But if
okay.
we're trying to source really good dragon fruit for this, sometimes there's a seasonality to that. We have to wait for that season to come up.
Sure.
You got to call your dragon fruit guy, and then
Yeah, good
he's
point.
on vacation.
He's hard to find these
We're
days.
We're one of the largest fruit purchasing breweries in the country. So lots of times we have to almost buy out a supplier's fruit supply. So sometimes we can't even get the amount of fruit that we need for a beer. So we have to wait for the next run to happen on pineapple or whatever it is. And so that adds some lead time to it. But from brew day, those beers are 2-3 weeks. Lagers will be like 6 to 10 weeks.
So are you just getting bombarded by individuals across the country, just either other breweries or just people in the news? Like, I mean, are you just doing this constantly, telling your story?
Yeah, we do a lot. I do a lot of podcasts,
Yeah.
and the brewing industry is very fraternal. There's kind of an open door policy on stuff, and so we're working with our friends, getting advice from them. We get a lot of breweries that reach out to us and ask us, how we've done things, and we don't always give away secrets that we've either spent a lot of money making those mistakes or investing in that, but we're always very helpful of this is the path you need to be looking at,
Right.
and giving some advice where we can.
Have you ever told someone to make something that you knew was going to kind of suck?
No, we would never intentionally
I
lead
don't
someone
know,
astray.
Okay, that's awesome. I was going to move on. One of the other things I love about this place, are you in charge of the music mix here?
That's
It's
a
freaking
source
awesome.
of frustration. A lot of times, I think I kind of overly control
I
the
love
playlist.
it. Keep it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No.
you're hitting it on the spot.
If anybody
That's
doesn't
what I was-
like it, they're wrong.
Yeah, and they need to probably leave or find another brewhalla.
Go start your
Go
own
to
damn
Canada.
Brewhalla,
Right.
mister.
I don't sleep much, and so that's one of my favorite things to do at like 3 a.m. is find a song, like really feel out a vibe, and then try and make a playlist out of it. And the hard part is like for here, we can't have a 1 hour playlist because it's going to get recycled.
Yeah.
It's hard to put those in queue. So like I need to turn everything into like, I try to get to 4. The goal is to get to 8 hours on a playlist. And it's hard to hold a vibe together for that long of a playlist if it's very specific, but so that's what I do at 3 a.m.
I've heard a number of what could be classified yacht rockish songs. I've been on a huge yacht rock kick
this is
lately.
I call it
over
a
the
butt
place.
rock.
Yeah.
And so
Because they just had that thing at Blue Stem, didn't they? The yacht rock thing. Or is
Oh,
it
yes,
coming up?
yeah.
The sip and sail
Yeah,
thing
so
that's going on.
Yeah, yacht rock on Sirius XM.
Yeah, I can.
Very good station.
Like you're at 3 a.m. trying to figure out an 8-hour playlist. Those are one of the things, like when you talk to your mentors and everything, they say, quit wasting your time with that. And I was like, no, because that's fun. And that's what I want to do.
yep.
Don't tell me to take away the things.
It keeps those other thoughts that I'm thinking about
Right.
at bay and just gives me something productive to work
You mean the
on.
ones where you just want to slap your face and
Yeah.
just like, what the hell am I thinking right now? I should do more music. That's awesome.
Water park. No, music. Focus on
Music.
Let's do that for a little bit.
What else you got for him, Fish? I mean, we hit the music thing and everything. I mean,
I
we
don't
could
know.
wrap it up.
Just very, very fascinating.
I know. I could, Mark, I could just talk to you forever. But I do want to be on the ground floor of investing in the water park and the outdoor stadium and the hotel. Like I said, $4.
I got to make what I lost in the Epic Water Park. That one.
Did you put money in the Epic? I don't think we should talk about that. The public doesn't need to bring up the Epic. That's still happening.
Yeah.
And then we're dead. Did I unplug myself? Am I still there?
Oh,
Oh, God. I think I did something bad. There, our first technical difficulty.
yeah.
This is our first
What's
on
wrong with
location. I
you?
think it went great. Mark, Unless you got something more.
No, man.
I think it was awesome. Thanks for letting us set up here.
Yeah, anytime.
Letting us. Oh, I have one more thing. So we got T-shirts now. And so, are you extra large?
Yeah,
large?
give me XL.
Okay, just wait. Hold your horses. 'Cause these are made special for our guests. So I'll want you to wear this loud. That's not even loud. So
Get it together, Alton.
I know. See it. I bear it all on full frontal nudity.
Perfect.
Nudity.
Nudity.
That's yours, buddy.
Thank you.
I'm going to want a picture of that later
'Kay.
for our social media. And that's the end of the Intercontinental and our 5th podcast on location. We're going to do more of the on locations. It's exciting.
Yay!
Thanks for being in like the launch of this thing, Mark. We don't even know why we're doing it.
I didn't even know what I was walking into. So
Was it okay?
yeah, you guys did great.
That's all we can ask for. All right, over and out. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Come.